If you ain't a grinder, you no kin to me. New Versace on, come and get a whiff of me. Flexing on these haters like my name was Mr. T. What else? This motherfucker slapping, call it Twisted T. Need a verse, shit, that's 250 or 10 to 3. Get it? Running to the bread like King Henry in Tennessee. It's got a death wish as soon as I go pick a beat. Yeah, this motherfucker slapping, call it Twisted T. Yeah.
Bow! What's going on, everybody? ChadArmesTV. Hashtag RIP Worm. Hashtag Forever Whizzle. This is part 2 of the Chad Arms Been Around series, where I just basically talk about things that shed light on some stuff, past relationships with artists, you know, stories behind the scenes, kind of catching you up on some stuff. Part 1, salute to the homie Jelly Roll. Spoke about how me and him got linked up, how ChadArmesTV started, gave you a good rundown of that. And this is part 2. Now, what I want to do in this one is I want to give you a brief rundown of my music career. Now, a lot of people are new to me through this channel and didn't even know that I did music. And a lot of people have been around for a long time. Well, I started doing music in 2002. I'm older. I'm 37. Graduated from a school called Greenbrier High School, 2002. Man, I'm an OG in the game. I played football my whole career from when I was 5 years old to when I was 18. But when I was a kid, I always told my parents I wanted to be an Oak Ridge boy. I used to run around the house singing Elvira. That's what I used to sing when I was a kid. Until 1996 hit, and I saw Bone Thugs-n-Harmony perform Crossroads at the MTV Music Awards. And I was never the same after that. I was nothing but rap music. I bought every rap CD. I studied the liner notes. I read every credit. I read all the lyrics. I wanted to know everything there was to know about rap music and hip-hop music. Was a hip-hop head. Still am. In my junior and senior year in high school, I did talent. In the talent shows, I did like cover songs. So basically, like my junior year, me and a friend of mine, me and her did Big Timers. You know what I'm saying? Number One Stunner, Get Your Roll On. And my senior year, I did Bubba Sparks' Ugly, and I shook the damn talent show in Greenbrier. Ain't nobody ever did no daggum rap song in a talent show. And I had it shaking in there. And I have video footage of this, but it is so cringe, I'll never let anybody see it. I'm in a gray Greenbrier jogging suit and a skull cap, fucking Harlem shaking on stage. Total shoo-shoo. But everybody kept asking me, why don't you start making music of your own? So and the thing is crazy, I never even thought about wanting to do my own music until I did that stuff my senior year of the talent show and saw like the crowd getting hype and shit, and it made me hype. So I started writing my own stuff, and I was terrible. 2002, 2003, I was awful. But we started a group with me and two of my buddies from school, Casper and Wicked. We started a group called Low Life. Dropped a couple of like little mixtapes around the city, nothing crazy. We didn't even go to a professional studio to record them or anything. I still talk to them to this day. If you see any features on my past albums from Ghost Unlimited or Waves the Rapper, that's those two guys. They just went by different rap names at the time. I went by C-Dub, by the way. So then I branched out and started doing my own thing for a minute. Then I started linking up with Smoke Corleone. Shout out to him. Me and him are still cool. That's my dog. He's just on my last album. And linked with him, and we started cutting some projects. I did my first solo project called My Spell. It was horrible. Horrible. It'll never get released. It was so bad. But that's how you do it, man. You know, you got to be bad at first. And Smoke has something called Spellbound Entertainment. Started doing stuff with him. Then I started branching off and doing my own thing again in 2004. Started linking up with some cats. My boy Brandon E, my boy Pudgy, my boy The Truth, Casper, Rage. There was a group of us, and it was called Lyrical Royalty Entertainment, LRE. It was something I want to say Pudgy started it. I can't remember who exactly started it, but that was our camp, man, and we were heavy there for a while. 2004, 2005, 2006, somewhat, it kind of started going. In 2006 is when, you know, like I said in the past one, 2005 is when I met Jelly for the first time, when we were Lyrical Royalty Entertainment. Jelly started coming and cutting features for us for the love, you know. Well, 2006, everybody else kind of went their own way. We all were still cool, but it was just really me, Brandon E, and The Truth still doing music heavy. Well, I started something called Show and Prove Entertainment in January of 06 because we were doing these shows locally, and people were talking about all this stuff they were going to do. Everybody was talking big game, and nobody was doing nothing. So I was like, well, I'm going to call mine Show and Prove, because I believe in being about what you talk about. So there is somebody flying drones around my house. It's a guy and his son. So to each their own, but they're loud as shit. I don't know if you can hear it in here, but if you hear like that's what it is. So, woo. So yeah, Show and Prove Entertainment, 2006, man. We were deep, man. We had a big camp. It was Show and Prove started out, and it was just really me and Brandon E and Truth, and Truth had full blown records. Brandon had different entertainment. We all had our own little thing that we were doing, but we all worked together. You know what I'm saying? 2005, I dropped my first solo project that I actually put out. I dropped a mixtape in June of that year called Something Special, the prequel. And then in November of that year of 05, I dropped Something Special. Now that one is on all streaming platforms. It's under ChadArmesTV Something Special, but I was going by C-Dub then, okay? 2006 hit, I did a project with my boy Bobby J called Southern Gentleman. It was a rap R&B collab. It's on all streaming platforms as well. I did another one called Special Music. It was like a little mixtape. It's out on all streaming platforms. It's just my old stuff. A lot of it's just mixtape stuff. But I was starting to kind of get into my own, because I was recording like crazy, man. Like hundreds of songs a year, bro. 100 songs a year, damn near, I was doing. 2007 is when I did Rapaholic. That was my first album that I really started to gain some traction. I started doing shows, open for Haystack a couple of times back then. Shout out to Stack. That was when Stack was doing was real heavy in the scene with Start to Finish and all that. It was a couple of years after that dropped. So he was real heavy in the scene. Jelly was real heavy in the scene with Street Flavor at the time, and then doing his own thing. We were all still messing with each other back then. 2007. And 2008 is when I started doing stuff under Chad Arms, because I was tired of being C-Dub, because C-Dub was just a nickname in school when I was in junior pro football, because there was 2 Chads on our team, and they just called me, I was called C-Dub in school and stuff like that. And I just wanted to go by my own name, because there was so many different rappers that named C-Dub. I was getting confused saying I was in CWB, and I wasn't. No shade to them. I fucks with all them dudes, but I just wasn't. I was getting confused. People were confusing me with that. And I was like, I'll just go by my name, Chad Arms. So 2008, that's what I did. I dropped Mr. Nice Guy. It was the first album that I dropped under my Chad Arms name. And it did well. It's got the song me and Jelly did called it's called I Know, or Open My Eyes. It's a song that a lot of people are catching on to on these collection projects of me and Jelly that I put out. Also in that year, I dropped a group project with 3 of some of the most talented rappers in the city, man. It was myself, B. Howard, Blaze 314, and Squints. It was called Arch Rivals. We shook shit for a while. We were in those urban music challenges. I won one of those. We came in second place in that one as a group. We were shaking stuff with that. Show and Prove was deep back then, man. It was me, it was myself, Brandon E, Bobby Hooks, Squints, Blaze 314. B. Howard was messing with us real tough. Jelly was messing with us real tough. 2009, when Jelly got out, we started doing the Halfway House stuff. That's when I recorded Follow the Drip album, dropped it, and then I dropped It's Not Every Day, 2009. All these that I'm naming are on streaming platforms. Y'all can look all of them up. Just type in Chad Arms on all of them. You can pull all of them up. But we were deep, man. And then, we also had, Worm. Worm came out in January of 2009 when I met Worm, started linking up with him, doing the ChadArmesTV stuff. We started working on his Mr. South to Death project. But It's Not Every Day is the album that really took me to that next level, because I was branching out and not just doing rap music. I was doing pop, like country-ish rap. It was a little bit of everything. And it, to this day, I think is my best work. Salute to Zach Crowell. He's a huge country songwriter now, but he was the one that helped produce that whole project for me. Salute to him, man. Love to see him being, as successful as he is. So that was 2009. Also in Show and Prove, we had the Scum Boys, man. We had O&E, Worm, like I said, myself, Squints, Blaze, B. Howard, Jelly. There was so many of us. Ice Cold J was messing with us tough back then. I'm still cool with all these people. Bobby Hooks. I'm not meaning to forget anybody, bro. If I did, I don't want y'all to think that I meant to forget anybody, because I didn't. We just had such a deep camp, man. 2010 is when I started doing the Chatty Bobby moniker. I was Chad Arms, Chatty Bobby, because Talladega Nights is one of my favorite movies, and that's kind of around the time it came out. So I just started calling Chatty Bobby, and people still call me that 11 years later. So that's when I dropped Chatty Bobby album in 2010. The fall of that year is when I dropped Fat Boy Swag Volume 1. And then Volume 2 came out in 2011. I dropped a project with some other, I did like tons of features. We were doing shows every weekend at the Rutledge, bro. Show and Prove Entertainment was one of the bigger known camps in the most talented camps in the city. Also, salute to Originality Entertainment, Black Catfish, 5'3", Slim Chance, Sam Bricks. They were, us two camps together were two of the, and salute to all the camps that were working, but we were really shaking shit out there, man. And then 2012 came, man, and then I just basically had a mental breakdown, more or less, man. I dropped Volume 2 to Fat Boy Swag. Jelly hosted it. It was doing really well. We was at the height of everything. I got in trouble in Ohio because I was stupid and had some pills in my car that I didn't have a script for. Went to jail in Ohio. Thank God I was in Ohio and not in Tennessee, or I would have had felony drug charges. Never been in trouble in a day in my life, bro. And my dumb ass was getting fucked up and just being dumb, bro. Well, that happened, and then luckily I got out of that. That was okay. But I was just acting up, bro. I got hooked on Xanax. I got hooked on pain pills. And I'm not ashamed to say that, bro. I was hooked on them for a while. 2012, man, I just was burnt out. I had been going 8-9 years without stopping. And I was managing all the artists. I was managing myself. I was working full time at a job. I was taking pills every day. I was stressed out. I had relationship issues, bro. It's just a whole kind of confluence of bullshit. And I just fell off for 2 years, dog. 2 years, I disappeared. I got off social media. I stopped talking to everybody, and I just damn near had a mental breakdown, bro. I was going to work, but I was waking up, taking 4 pain pills in the morning, taking a Xanax when I got up, taking a Xanax when I got home, and I was just floating through life, bro, for 2 years. Until one night, bro, I was driving home, fucked up, had no business driving, took a Xanax and was out driving at 2 o'clock in the morning because I was stupid, on a back road out here in the country, and almost wrecked my car, and it would have killed me. There's no way I would have survived it because there was a huge ravine. It would have been, I'd have died for sure. And it's just like I snapped and was like, what am I doing? I just had all this work that I'd put in all these years to where it was finally about to take off, and I fucking jumped ship and just stopped talking to people, bro. And I don't want to say I regret it, because doing that, I met so many other people in my life that I never would have met that are some of my closest friends to this day. So I don't regret what I did. But I look back at it now like, golly, man, that's crazy, you know? But almost having that wreck woke me up to the point where I was like, I got to stop taking pills, man. I got to stop. And I stopped. It was the hardest thing I've had to do, because not so much the Xanax, but the pain pills, bro, because I worked factory work for 9 years, and I had to have those to be able to work because I hurt all the time. My back hurt, my head hurt, my leg, like everything hurt all the time. The Xanax wasn't that hard for me to kick because I wasn't taking them crazy like that. I was just taking them as they told me to, but I was hooked on them though. The pain pills was the tough part. But I came back into that after all that BS, bro. I came back in 2014, and I had it was like I was reborn, kind of like I had a whole new outlook on life, and it took me almost dying to realize that. You know what I'm saying? But sorry for this, man. That sun's all in everybody's eyes. But I wanted to tell all of y'all that just to kind of give you an idea of what all I've went through the last 15, 20 years for my music career. And also I wanted to talk about the addiction, because I know that's a lot of people struggle with that in one way or the other. You struggle with addiction, whether it's drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex, eating, whatever it is that you're addicted to, bro. Don't take that lightly. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all kind of that same way, in the sense that everybody has a vice, bro. I'm lucky enough to where the vice that I had at the time didn't kill me. And I came back in 2014, And I put out Fat Boy Swag Volume 3, put out a greatest hits compilation of all my music, my best music from 05 to 2012. And then I said, well, am I going to start doing this music again? And I started doing YouTube really tough again. I had set up a YouTube channel while I was MIA, just as an outlet because I wasn't talking to anybody. I set up a YouTube channel, the Chatty Bobby 1130 channel, that's like wrestling and movie content, because that's what I was doing, because I needed somebody to, as an outlet, because I wasn't talking to any of my music people. So that's kind of what that was. But then I got right back in it and I dropped Happy Days album 2017. And then in 2018 and 19, I dropped volume 1, 2, and 3 of Baker's Dozen trilogy. All of that's available on all social media or streaming platforms. And then I dropped, uploaded a lot of unreleased content that's up there, old stuff that I never released. And then 2020, I dropped 22, which was my 22nd album. I wanted to call it Emmett Smith, but because of copyrights, I couldn't call it Emmett Smith, obviously. So called it 22. And then I just dropped in April of this year, I dropped The American Dream, which is my 23rd album. So in 15 minutes, that's the cliff notes of my entire music career. I just wanted to give y'all that insight because a lot of people may not be familiar. And even if you are, maybe you wondered why I did certain things. And I was addicted to drugs, bro. And I can sit here and say that now because I'm not addicted to them now. But I was, man. I was taking pain pills every single day. 4. I didn't take tabs. I didn't like the way tabs did me. But I took tramadol, which is like it's just like tabs, but a little less, a little less strong, I guess, than tabs are, but still the same. They're narcotics now, so I don't think they were back when I took them. But I was on them for years, bro. Like 5-6 years I was on them. And to the point where if I didn't have them, like I was not me. And that's scary to think about, because I'll go back and look at some old videos of myself and I see myself like fucked up. And back then it's just the way I was. I didn't think nothing of it. But now as a sober person, I'm like, bro, I was thrown off, bro, for a long time. But again, I don't dwell on that because that's something that I had to go through to get me to where I'm at now. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I just wanted to give y'all an insight. This is part 2. This is my music career and a little bit of me touching on, my addiction. Luckily I was able to kick it. It wasn't that easy though, bro, because I was doing that for so long. But I'm just lucky that I didn't get on anything super, super strong, like really bad that I couldn't get off of. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this, man. Y'all said y'all are liking this series of stories and stuff, so I'll try to keep them moving. But this was part 2 of Chad Arms Been Around. Holla at your boy, man. R.I.P. Whizzle Fizzle.